He said gold and silver are all you can depend on. I'll put it in his exact words. He said gold and silver are all you can rely on. Now, folks, you take the statement and go with it any way you want to. You gold dealers do with it what you want to. But I'm just telling you what he said. You cannot depend on the Federal Reserve note. It's on its way out. By 2012, the dollar will be dead. Folks, please, I beg of you, listen to what Alex Jones is saying. He's telling you things that I know you feel are difficult to believe. I'm telling you exactly what one of the elitists themselves said.
Well, they're openly saying in the newspaper, they're going to kill the dollar now. Please continue, Lindsey.
This one, Alex, and this one would take a whole program within itself, too. War, you ready? Folks, this is stunning. This is startling. War is planned after 2 years. Now, I'm sorry. This shook me to no end, and I asked him to elaborate, and he even said where it's going to take place, and he said where it'll start and how it'll spread. It's already planned. I mean...
Well, Lindsey, we're going to tell people about the DVD where you lay this out over 3 hours. We're going to have you back on tomorrow for part 2 of this if you can do it, if not Wednesday. But tell us what region, because I mean, last time you laid your money where your mouth is with the oil prediction from him. You were right. Where is he saying? The intel I've got from the Rand Corporation and the Pentagon is they're going to start wars in Eastern Europe, wars in Central Asia, and wars in the Middle East simultaneously on the order of World War II.
It's going to start in Iran. It'll start around that Middle East area, and it will more than likely be in relationship to Iran and Israel, and it will spread to the entire world. I'll elaborate more and more on that later.
But he says they're waiting for 2 years.
He said you've got a 2-year timeline. Okay, folks, please listen to me. You positively must take action immediately, or your children and your grandchildren will forever be slaves to the elite. Folks,
Lindsey, I've never heard you with this much earnest in your voice, and that's how I am. It's coming down. I've never seen them move this quick. I can't even believe the lightning speed they're implementing everything.
The elite are laughing at us. Alex, I am so stunned. You know why they... Okay, I've got so much here, I don't even know where to go. You know why the elite altered their timeline? You know why. But I want to give it to you as they said it. The elite have altered their timeline because you gave them $2.5 trillion in the last 2 months of the Bush administration. Folks, you've got to hear this in depth. I mean, this would take the longest to go into why. I'll tell you briefly. Just before Bush left office, they had created an artificial crisis. It really didn't exist. Isn't it amazing that crisis isn't out there anymore right now?
And they came out and badmouthed the market and said we'd have a depression, and it went down a couple thousand points. They admit the Congress admits they were terrorized into it.
Yeah, they were terrorized into it, and the stock market is going to keep going up and up and up and up. Mark my words. He told me what's going to happen to the stock market. He told me where the price of gold is going. He gave a schedule of events chronologically in order over the next 2 years. I think he was really doing it, Alex, because he is so concerned. I mean, his conscience must be, there's no telling what this man feels like, knowing his age and where he is. And I think really he was trying his best to do everything he could to warn people. Folks, you have got to take action immediately, or your children and grandchildren will forever. Okay, let me go back to why they altered that timeline. In the last 2 months of the Bush administration, they created an artificial crisis. You know, that's what the elite is so good at. They create a crisis, then they create a solution. Well, the solution was for the American taxpayer to give, through the Federal Reserve, all of these trillions of dollars, and then I'm sure you remember what happened after it was all over with, and some of the news services came out and said, we have got to know where that money went to, and I've got the clip on my DVD. They said when the representative of the Federal Reserve was asked to appear before Congress, and they demanded to know where $2.5 trillion of this money went, they said, we can't tell you. We won't let you know. We refuse to answer. And as a result of you, the taxpayer, stupid, dumb, gullible. They've given you baseball and apple pie and your beer, and you become satisfied with a job. And you know what J-O-B, you know what job means? Just over broke. They've given you exactly just enough to keep you quiet so that you won't rise up. And when you gave them $2.5 trillion approximately, they altered their timeline. I mean, when this man told me what they have done, and basically it's for your good, because you've got just a little bit longer. They think they've almost got it made. They're sure that you're not going to rise up and do anything about it. You are not going to revolt because they know that you're already so poor. And after 2 years, he said, you'll be so poor you will not be able to rebel against the elite. And the elite are laughing at the gullible, stupid American. Now, folks, please forgive me for saying that. But the elite are laughing at us because they know that they have us exactly where they want us. Okay. Here goes. I'll give you the next statement. Within 2 years, nearly everyone will be working for the government. Oh, watch it. General Motors, what happened? They bailed them out. So now the President of the United States of America is CEO of General Motors and Chrysler. Then the banks came along, and they're gobbling up another 7, 8, 10 banks gradually, a little bit at a time, every single weekend.
Now they're taking over health care. They're going to issue national ID cards. You're going to have one to have a job. They've announced it. Stay there, Lindsey Williams. And the carbon tax won't let you drive, live, home inspections, teenagers in uniforms running around with weapons. Just hell is going to be released on us. Lindsey Williams with inside info straight ahead. Key information.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
You know, we're talking to Lindsey Williams, Pastor Lindsey Williams, inside whistleblower, when he worked with Atlantic Richfield and a bunch of other big oil companies up on the Alaskan shelf there on the slope. He blew the whistle about that. Turned out he was absolutely accurate decades later when it was released by Congress. Same thing with the Gulf of Mexico, full of oil. They won't let us get to in many areas, but the Chinese and others are allowed to have it. Then he talked to this insider, this former CEO of an oil company, one of the biggest. The fellow thought he was going to die, and I guess that near-death experience has made him totally spill his guts to Lindsey. But now, so much of what Lindsey's saying from this insider is clear, even from mainstream news. Lindsey was speaking about Fall of the Republic, because, you know, he's retired, been out of the country some with family. He came back. He just now heard I have Fall of the Republic, and he's saying, we haven't talked since my producer just called and got him on because Lindsey was ready to come on and emailed us that these things mesh together. Everything Lindsey's saying fits in to what we're seeing here on the ground being set up and being done. Lindsey Williams, go ahead.
Everyone listening to the Alex Jones Show right now, I must clarify this. Alex and I have not talked one single time off of the program privately. We have not compared notes. He did not know what I was going to say today. He did not know what the elite told me. I likewise did not know about his new DVD. Folks, we have not compared notes and planned this program. I know it sounds like it. And some of you sitting out there going to say, well, I'm quite sure these two guys got together and planned to say all this. No, we did not, did we, Alex?
No, I mean, you've been told by your high-level retired CEO, highest levels, this information. I've made a film, Reverse Engineering. I mean, I've got the Copenhagen, Denmark, UN climate change treaty that says world government, and, you know, I mean, I've got it right here, and that they say in their literature they want to destroy our economy. I had a economist from Argentina on a few months ago, and he talked about how the IMF and World Bank come in, and we have their documents as well, and bankrupt these countries by design so that you're so poor and starving you can't resist. They're not deploying Northcom for no reason. They're not got face scanning and license plate reading cameras going up for nothing. But do this. Run through your points, then let's go back through them. But just keep dropping those points on us, Lindsey.
2 years. 2 years. He kept using it over and over and over again. 2 years. Within 2 years, you will not recognize America. They have a timeline. The elitists have altered their timeline because you and me, the gullible Americans, gave them $2.5 trillion approximately, and Bloomberg demanded of Congress to get an answer They came before the Congress of the United States of America, the person representing the Federal Reserve, and said, I refuse to tell you where $2.5 trillion went. They tell you where the other money went, but $2.5 trillion you gave to the elite, and they still have not told you where it's going. So as a result, they altered their timeline. You've got to hear all the details of that.
They're accelerating it, correct? They're accelerating the timeline.
Well, I don't know, because you see, 2 years ago, he told me, he said, you're going to have massive inflation within a year to a year and a half.